just walked through the door, just took out my dog Suho, who seems to want some water right now. Here you go. 마셔. 야, 물 좀 마셔. I'm so confused by this dog. The water's right here, buddy. It's right here. Right here. This is... hey. Yeah, hurricane people. Man, hope everyone's doing all right. Haven't really had the chance to sort of keep up. I've seen some images and heard some stuff, but hope everyone is doing all right. And yeah, we can just hope and wait and do our part. I have the sneaky feeling this guy kind of likes the attention now. But anyway, I'm gonna cut to the chase. Can you hurry up and go through? Can you go through? Can you go through? Thank you. All right. It's been a long week, and a lot of stuff has happened within a week's time. Yes, Suho. Hi. A lot of stuff has happened with different bands. Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing okay. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, North Carolina. A lot of different bands, a lot of different things have gone on. I just got back tonight from a three-man with Hades, Full Moon, and Empress. For those who don't know, I've mentioned it previously, but Full Moon, Empress, and Sirius are under the umbrella of Zillion Mode, or they're under the management. That's the record label and their management. Yeah. So two of them were there, one of them was not. It was great. It was really, really great. I have to say, and you guys know that, yeah, I guess you call it biased. I mean, for me to say that it's completely objective would, from my subjectively objective opinion, Hades was phenomenal tonight. But let's go back about a week ago. And to be honest, it really is tough to remember every little thing that happened. So last weekend, hey Eric, thank you again, always so much. Really appreciate it. Hope I will get to catch you at some point. Maybe if you're there at the Sisega one, man. It's in November, forget the date. But okay, because so much happens and because I am old and my memory really is just a shadow of what it used to be, I'm gonna go to what I remember. So I'm gonna start with Monday. This past Monday, that would be September 23rd, because there were two really big events that kind of occurred that day. The first was that I attended Bad Bubble for, I've mentioned previously, but they're a band that I recently started to see quite often. Not only with their own show, but I caught them, or couple of the members, at GUNGIRE show, and then was it also another GUNGIRE show, or maybe a Dimre show at Antinock? They frequent Antinock a lot, which is actually where their final one-man was. So Bad Bubble has started 3 years ago, and they ended up losing their drummer, Saki, last year. So the first time I saw them, she played with them. And then pretty much a little bit after that, she just had to leave. Health reasons were what were cited, and that tends to be the case. So, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. But yeah, and then this year I saw them like 4 or 5 times. Oh, no problem at all, Yushi-san. It's always good to see you, and hope you get back home to Kichijoji safely. So I had initially planned to go to the Bad Bubble, the Bad Bubble final, be there for about an hour and a half to shoot photos for them because I really wanted to. It was their last show, and I felt like it would be great to sort of give them some last photos to remember. And then I would go to Club Cheetah, where I would see Hades performing at their largest venue yet. Um, but what happened was that I found out that I had to be there 2 hours early, which never happens with any other place that I've been to. Like, there's no reason for me to be there. I can go in there late if I want to and just start taking photos. But because it was, yes, I know that. We're moving on. Thank you, Michael. So going on to Club Cheetah, um, it was just a different beast because it was a larger venue. It was a festival. There were some bigger bands. It was a really new experience, not only for Hades being there and performing there, but also for me to be there as their cameraman. So I had to apologize profusely to Natsuo, the bassist of By Bubble. I told her I'm so sorry, but if I can be there, maybe even just like at rehearsal or something, and just take a few photos of you guys, just something. And then she didn't get back to me until the night before, so I kind of assumed I just wouldn't go. But then I also thought she has before kind of put me on hold for a little while, so maybe she just forgot. So she told me the night before, and then I decided, it's worth it. It's worth it. I'm gonna lose sleep. I'm gonna be tired. So I went. I got there. They were rehearsing. They had two support drummers and amazing support drummers. They had Toko, the drummer for Saiseiga, and they had Mally, the drummer for Exist Trace, and also Shabere Nakereba Ikenai, or Shabena, a newer band that she joined, I think just last year, with Hina Cat. So I went, they're just practicing, nothing like overly emotional, but I felt like it was because, it's a band and you go through stuff. I think especially after Saki left and they had to go through like all these support drummers all the time. Um, yeah, I think it was definitely tough for them to make the decision to stop Bad Bubble. Um, but I'm hoping that, and I know that they want to, so I'm hoping that they will find a way to come back. Um, and they're exciting. They're exciting. Natsuo has a great performance style, as well as Ray, the lead singer. She's got the best poses. Like, she has a boy cut. She wears suspenders. It's a very like boyish look, with the tie, suspenders, and slacks. But man, I mean, every time I take a photo of Bad Bubble, I'm like excited to take photos of her because I'm like, what's gonna come out next? The way she's got like angles, which is great. And then Gina, who also plays for Mellows. So it's great that I got to see them more, get to know them more. And I definitely hope to see them in the future in some other incarnation. So that was that, and then I had to leave probably about the third song through. I was there for rehearsal, took some shots, and then I was planning on leaving right away, but I was like, no, I gotta stay for just a little bit. So I took a few photos of a few of their songs and took off. And then from Shinjuku Station, I went to, yeah, Club Cheetah. And so Club Cheetah, yeah. Yushi-san found me, met me outside. We went around back, and very unlike. And this is again, this is me being ignorant of working at a venue of that size, because I kind of just expected a larger dressing room maybe for all the bands to be there, but every band and staff had their own separate room to change in and to be in, and they were smaller than the dressing rooms you would find maybe at a live house, but they were separate, so there were multiple like down this hall. And so that was a very eventful hall. Got there, set up. I don't want to bore you with details, but I recorded video as well as doing photos. So, and there were two floors. I used my camera to record video as well as Hara's or her phone and mine. So it was kind of interesting when they actually started. I had to be upstairs, press record, go downstairs, press record, and then work my way up to the front, and then start doing photos. And that was a really interesting experience. For me personally, it was really interesting because it was such a large and wide stage. And it's funny because it's a venue, it's 1,300 capacity venue, and you're like, oh yeah, like Bandmate performs at these kinds of places. Um, I think Spotify, O East or O West or wherever they played Blast was roughly around that size, maybe just a bit bigger. And I didn't realize what an exercise it would be, like a physical exercise, going from one end of the stage to the other end of the stage. And because it's a taller stage, I had to angle upwards this way, and so you can't quite capture the same photos you do um, as you would at a live house, where at a place like Ueno Otoyokocho, it's pretty much level with the floor, maybe just like a few inches taller. And so that's a challenge in itself. So it was interesting. It was a different experience, a different challenge, and I definitely enjoyed that. Um, but seeing all those people there and there to see, of course, all these other bands, but when Hades went up and they were performing, it was awesome. I mean, just the sheer size, the volume, just, it's not something that you anticipate. So it was really awesome to have that kind of size, to have all those people. And I could only sort of glance back because I was in front in the pit taking photos. And, but man, I wish I could have just been there, just like up in not the pit, but in the front and just like enjoying the whole experience. But of course, I also love taking photos for them, which I did. And kind of the cool thing about that day, especially, was to see Hades perform, just knock the socks off of everybody. Like, I've come to expect Hades to never disappoint me in a performance, like never, because they haven't in the past maybe 20 shows that I've seen them in, that they performed. I mean, they're incredible. Like, they just, something happened. It's magical. Um, but after they performed, Nemophila was up. And so there's a time to take things down, set things up. I went back to the dressing room with Hades, just kind of relaxing, and then Nemophila was going up. And I could see them because I went out to the hall and I saw them like on the side of the stage, just kind of standing there. I think Hazuki, I remember her just standing there. I was like, okay, I need to see them. And this is actually my first time seeing Nemophila. Um, Nemophila never completely worked for me. Um, like vocally, Maya's vocals aren't quite my style, my tone. It doesn't quite work. And so because of that, and because vocals are so important to me, I've just kind of enjoyed them, but I've never gotten into them the way some people have. And I think majority of people have, and I think a majority of you like Nemophila too. But I was excited because it was my first time to see them. The last time I had an opportunity, I had to decline because I had to work, and it just, yeah, work. That damn thing called work. So I was off on the side in an area where I could go to on the side because I had a pass, and that's always cool. Kind of used to it, still always enjoying being slightly VIP, and gaining access to places that uh, you know a normal person couldn't, a normal attendee. So I was watching them, and I definitely enjoy Mayu more live. I think her vocals work for me better that way. Um, I thought it was a great, awesome metal show. They put on such a great show. There's such amazing musicians. Um, I think Tamu impressed me the most as a drummer. Yeah, I was very impressed with her. Like just her sound, her technique, just what she was throwing out there. I mean, Haraguchi and Hazuki are great as well, but I've seen like, I wouldn't say 100 bands, but in the past year, even in the past 6 months, I've seen like 50 plus bands. And so you see a lot of bassists, a lot of drummers, a lot of guitarists, a lot of vocalists, and they're all super, super talented. So within that circle, I would still say Taman was the one I was like, oh man, she's really good. She's really good. Not to say Hazuki isn't, not to say Haraguchi isn't, but yeah. I was really impressed with her. And the coolest part was at one point during their stage, and of course it was choreographed and rehearsed, but at one point she stands up like stands up on top of her toms. I didn't quite catch the setup, but she was able to stand up and like be up on top, like standing on the bass drum and then on the toms. So that was pretty cool. I like that. I like I like showmanship. I appreciate showmanship. Um, and of course, yeah, that kind of brings me to my point was, I saw Saki a few weeks ago, and she was something else. She was something else. And so, as much as I enjoyed Nemofila's performance, and I was definitely impressed, I would still say they're not a band that I can get into. But I mean, who knows? I mean, who knows? But um, I would say that knowing what Saki brought just to her stage alone, if she were up on stage, hey Ellen, how's it going? If she were up on stage with them, um, I probably would have watched her most of the time. She's just got something special. She's got something that you cannot teach or gift unless it's like from the gods. It's like it's something innately that she has. Um, so yeah, I enjoyed it, but I enjoyed the performance. It was great. And then once it was finished, I went back around. Once I got to the back, I saw down the hall. So here's the hall, and there's like the dressing rooms, and I already saw Hades and Nemophila talking. So that was really cool. I was like, oh, this is cool. Because I knew that Mayu was previously the lead singer for Lipstick, which Sally, the guitarist, for Mellows, LOC, her own stuff as well. So I know there's a relationship there because Azazel, Hades' previous, yeah, moniker, incarnation. So yeah, like Mayu in particular, I think she was like they were talking and stuff, and that was really cool. So seeing them interact in the back and talk to each other, and I'm just watching them, just like this is cool. I mean, this is really nice. This is really nice. And then Tamu, who was exhausted and just dripping sweat from her performance, she came to the drink table where I was standing next to, and I didn't want to be a fan. I didn't want to bother her like in any way. So I just kind of watching and like seeing her like, pour her juice and drink and then pour her juice and drink. And I was just looking at her like, yeah, you're really cool. You're an awesome drummer. And so the only thing that I did was after they had finished chatting and they were walking down the hall, I don't know to where the dressing room was. I don't like being a creeper or stalker, but as they were walking by me, I just said, "Ah, お疲れ様でした. お疲れ様でした. Like, good job, good job, good job." And then they just kind of walked by. So yeah, I thought maybe I'd have an opportunity to speak to them more, but it's fine if I didn't. It's no problem. It was just cool. Yeah. So then there were a few more bands. There was Sex Machine Guns. There was Backdrop Cinderella. There was the Kanmuri, whose festival it was, and Yuri was pretty excited to see Sex Machine Guns. She said they're a really fun band. So then we all kind of went out. It was me, her, and Kuya went to the back, entered in, and sort of started watching. They're fun. I wouldn't say they're quite my thing, but I was watching them for a bit, walked out, and then I was like, wait a second, I know that person. And then it's Sally. So Sally had come, so she was there, and I was like, and don't ask me how I know, because I don't even know how I know, but from behind, because she's blonde, you know, she dyed her hair, but it just seemed like it was her. So then I was like, is that? And then I kind of walked around. I was like, oh, Sally. She's like, oh, Peter. So we chatted for a little bit. Um, and then it was like, oh, wow, it's so cool to see you again. Because I had seen her the previous week with She Glapes. Um, so, yeah. I really like seeing her. I think she's an amazing, amazing, amazing guitarist and performer. And like I told her the last time I spoke with her um, at Tokyo Wildside, I was like, yeah, no, I definitely want to support you and, you know, push and promote you in any way that I can. Like, I think you're amazing, and I feel like you deserve that. So, yeah. And, you know, when we talked, I was like, yeah, you know, my dream is to get some people to the States, get some bands to the States. She's like, oh, I would love to go. I was like, really? Okay, I'm gonna remember that. Because I would love to take, you know, I think people would love to see you perform live. Like, she's something else, you know? So, but I stayed through Backdrops and Neurola, Sex Machine Guns, and then I had to just come back early just because it was Monday, a holiday, but then of course there's work and there's just stuff to do. So that was the earlier part of this week, or part of last weekend, because it was a 3-day weekend. And then the week, a lot of different little things. Bandmade dropped their new album, Epic Narratives, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard it. Have decided which songs you like, which ones you don't. Just again, you're forming your opinions. I definitely formed mine. The stand-up for me from the songs that I hadn't heard is The One. Yes, absolutely, Ken. The One. The One was the one that blew me away. You know, I popped in the CD, had on my cans, and started listening, and I was like, you know, I've heard this whole batch before, so you know, it was nothing new. And then Forbidden Tale, I was like, okay, this is interesting. I'm still not 100% sold on the song. I like the idea that they have all these different movements and it's a very progressive song. But sometimes it feels like pieces of songs rather than one song. So I'm not quite sure how I feel about it. I'm gonna have to give it a few more listens. But when I heard The One, and this is sort of maybe my early review, because we are gonna do sort of a M&N with SJ, with Destiny and myself, and go through the songs together. But this sort of a preview is, I think The One is probably one of Konami's most sleek and sophisticated and restrained productions. It's a beautiful song. It's amazing. It kind of gave me a feeling. And again, when I heard it, I was like, "Oh, this is an arena song. This is like, you know, Tada Hikaru, like, you know, sold out tour. Like, just, you know, just blew me away." And it was really is sort of like Psyche's tour de force. It is her sort of diva divine moment. And again, just the way that Konami was very restrained and not making or allowing the instrumentation to ever overtake or precede what Psyche was doing. So it was really Psyche's central, and that never stopped. So yeah, I mean, that song, I was like, oh, I felt that. The other songs, I do have my opinions. I will say that they're not my favorites. It's not my favorite album, I can say that. There's songs that I do like. Um, Listening to Bestie always feels warm. Um, I don't know if it's a maturation because it was written pre Yokohama Arena, and then the lyrics were changed um, to accommodate it being released later. Um, so maybe the production was altered. I'm not sure about that. There was no mention of that. But yeah, I thought it's an incredibly written song. Um, and again, like for me, I'm just most impressed at how restrained the instrumentation is. And I appreciate that as someone who loves really good, well produced pop songs. Um, so yeah, like that was a standout. It still is a standout. Yeah, yeah, it was. They talked about it being the last one, or the last song of that, but then they decided on Endless Story. Hmm. That would have been something if I heard that song. Yeah. Um, I don't want this live stream because I can't go too long. I am tired. I'm on new medication for my foot. I'm slightly drowsy, but that might make this live stream more fun. Yeah, I don't want to go on too long. Again, there will be further review and just detailed descriptions and opinions of the new album. But yeah, I think my favorite tones from Kanami and even her riffs and just overall is just Bring It. Although I do love World Domination, I love Conqueror. I was like months and months deep into Unseen World when it dropped, so yeah. But I think with Unleash and with this album and the tone that she's sort of like fallen into and sort of the way that she's been using her licks, it doesn't quite connect with me as much as previously. So, but yeah, I'll leave it there. That happened. Another really great thing throughout this week was that I was starting to see people posting up their photos of the Gungire CDs that I had finally sent out. So grateful that people were willing to wait and be patient, not that they had a choice. And I'm just happy that they got there safely. Because I was so afraid. I mean, anytime, because I mean, jewel packages, they're so fragile and frail and, yeah. So the most recent one was Ryan Muir doing a little live stream unpackaging the box I sent him. But yeah, quite a few people received it. So thank you for letting me know and putting it up there and for also connecting it to the bands, whether it be Gungire or Saiseiga, Doll Parts, whoever it is, whatever CD let it out that I sent, because it helps when bands know that things that I've done have contributed to their not just their bottom line, not just their sales, but in connecting them to overseas fans, that helps me as someone who wants to do those things and would love to do more. So it's not a way for me to brag and to yeah, it's not something to boast about for me. It's really sort of building goodwill, building credit with these bands in this industry, which I think I've done fairly well up until now, and I'm hoping that I just don't screw it up. Like every single time I walk into a venue or I talk to a new person or I'm introduced to someone or I'm interacting, I'm just like, God, don't screw this up, Peter. Don't say something stupid. Don't do something stupid. Don't do something that you can't retract, that you can't take back. Um, so yeah, thank you guys for doing that. And I hope for those of you that I do help out, that you let it be known that I did help you. Not, again, it's not like a selfish thing, if you know what I mean. It will help me in the long run. It will help me in the long run. Yeah, because you were there that. That's right, because you were there that night along with Barber. Oh man. Um, I haven't seen them in a while, so yeah. Hopefully you'll get your stuff. You know, if you want, I can order stuff for you and then receive it and then give it to you when I see you. Because I know I'll see you again next month at some point. I don't know if I'll be able to get it signed, but if you just want the CD, that's okay. So yeah, Bandmade released, GUNGIRE CDs got there, Let It Out CDs got there. There were a few people I knew who really were vocal about loving Let It Out. And so those were the people that I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a little something special. So, ah, awesome. That's so great to hear, Tyler. I'm really happy to hear that. God, like you don't know how happy I am. It's like throwing like plastic bags into the wind and wondering if they'll arrive safely. That's how it feels like. I'm so glad. But yeah, that was there. And then, was there anything else in particular? Well, before I get news of a band that I haven't gotten too close to, but I did do. I shot some really good photos for this band, Arc Royal. They performed at Crescendo one time, and it turned out earlier today that Megu-chan, or Meg, the drummer, she will be leaving the band after their final, I think it's her final one man for this year. So she's been around for a while, but yeah, that was unfortunate. So that's again like it just happens, you know, like these bands breaking up, members leaving. It's this constantly swirling, moving, unresting beast, this music scene in Tokyo, you know. And I guess that's just kind of the nature of it, isn't it? You know, I kind of was inspired to watch on YouTube some behind the scenes VH1. So I ended up watching Anthrax, and then I was watching a little bit of, who was it? I forget who else. But yeah, when you're dealing with so many people besides your band members as well, and it can get tumultuous. So, but yeah, so that was that. I wish her well. I messaged her on Instagram. She messaged me back surprisingly, and she said, "Yeah, I'd love to work with you again." So that was great to hear, and I definitely hope that I can. Yes, very much the hamster wheel. That was a phrase that I coined when I was talking to Mike about it. The very first show I went to with him, with Little Lilith, Risky Melody, and Maze. I was like, yeah, that's what it feels like. It's just this hamster wheel. It's the same thing. So, but some people are okay with that, and it's fine. You know, if people are okay with that, don't disturb. Like, don't try to impose what you want or your values on people. It's I don't know. Like, let people be. But then there are those bands who do want to get bigger, who do want to become more of a global band, and those are the bands I want to help and really reach and do what I can. Okay, so it is a big wheel. And there's those little tunnels that hamsters crawl through and stuff. Um, and yesterday, so Yushi-san from Blacklisted, who has helped me in so, again, I've mentioned, but in so many ways. And I think I'm someone who was raised to be grateful and to return favors if possible. And I try to whenever I can. But he did me a big favor by connecting me with a gentleman by the name of Suitsu-san. Suitsu-san. And he is now the manager of Paradox, but he previously was the manager of Destros and Disqualia. And for those of you who kind of know your J-rock, J-metal history, you know that out of those bands, a lot of amazing musicians have come out. You know, Hazuki from Neopil was with Disqualia. With Destros, I mean, like, everybody really So anyhow, um, I don't know if I can share the details, but I did help in some way. And then yesterday, I met up with him as well as Yushi-san, and we all kind of just sat down together at this old school coffee shop. It's called the Kisaten. Um, really 80s vibe. People smoking in there, drinking their coffee and stuff. And so we talked for a couple of hours, and I was just really, I wasn't silenced because I talked a lot, but knowing that I was able to just, sit and share a table with this gentleman, and he's been in the industry like 40 plus years. He knows like everybody knows him. He's the one who's really sort of, if you've ever attended a Woman's Power, one of those shows with all these bands, the very first show that I saw Hades was a Women's Power in Osaka. So that was Hades, Paradox, Full Moon, Sirius, um, Empress. Uh, so yeah, and I told him like I owe you a lot. If not for that show, I mean, I don't know where I would be right now with this. I'd probably still be like full on hardcore or maybe only bandmate. I don't know. Not that that was a bad thing. I enjoyed those years. I enjoyed those years of dedicating to bandmate, and I kind of cut my teeth on a lot of stuff I did for bandmate in terms of promoting, doing graphics, getting the word out, making use of social media, of really reaching out to the fan base and realizing that there was a fan base that could respond and do things. Um, so yeah, but it was such an awesome experience to just sit and talk with him and hear him share stuff and his experiences, his thoughts, and I would share mine. And who am I? But at the same time, I realized that I can be an important component because I live in Japan and I do speak some Japanese and I do speak English and I do have connections with bands and with fans. And the more that increases and solidifies, the more things can happen. And so I'm really thankful um, for how far things have come, and I'm really excited for where things will go. But so that was cool. And then tonight was a three-man at a venue called Sugamo Shishio, which I've been to a few times. Um, it's called Crazy Fest, sponsored by a gentleman who's known as Crazy San. Um, and I walked in and I saw him and I was like, ah, konnichiwa. He's like, oh, hisashiburi. I was like, oh, oboite masu ka? Like, oh, do you remember me? He's like, yeah, of course. I was like, oh, thanks. I always appreciate just, yeah, I appreciate people in the industry recognizing me. And I don't know what they know of me. I don't know what they've been told or what they've seen, or, yeah, I just don't know. Um, but it's funny. I remember quite early on at the beginning, and I was talking with SJ about this, and he was just like, yeah, Peter, you're gonna be that guy. You're gonna be that guy that walks into the room and everybody just knows you now. And I'm like, maybe that'd be cool, but yeah, it is becoming the case. I have taken photos for over 30 bands in the past year. Um, I've slowly, more recently, gotten to know different managers, different people here and there, sort of industry players, you could say, and not necessarily like major label music industry, but like within the scene. And yeah, I think they appreciate what I contribute to help these bands, you know, sort of break that wall and get out into the rest of the world. So yeah, it's really cool. Um, so that was cool. And then Empress, a band that I've become very familiar with, and they're very familiar with me now too now. Um, so Marie, the bassist, like every time she sees me now, she's like, "Ah, 안녕하세요," because she speaks some Korean, and we speak a little Korean here and there. And Mitsuki was one of the first uh, members of a band ever that I kind of chatted with, aside from Hades, like on that same day, like way back when. So yeah, all of them know me now. It's just really cool, and they're happy to see me, and they're really warm. They're really warm and friendly and just adorable. They're an adorable band. So it was good to see them. Full Moon, they didn't come out to the merch area. So I saw them perform, or some parts, because I was talking outside to Hades and other stuff. So, but they're another fun band, and Rin, their bassist, um, there's something about the way that she performs. She's one of, just subjectively, one of my favorite performers on bass. Not necessarily that she's like the best bassist, but there's just something about the way she does it. I really just like, I can dig it. So yeah, it was those three bands. Hades was up first, and then it was Full Moon, and then it was Empress. So it was from what, 6 p.m. roughly until 9, 3 hours. One of the shorter shows with multiple bands, but it was only three. But what was awesome and what's great is that when you only have three bands, you have extended set lists. So I get to hear songs that Hades normally wouldn't play. And today that included a new song, which was like, wow. I saw their set list before they went up and I was excited. And that song was pretty cool. Didn't disappoint. I need to hear it again. I need to hear it again. But Hades put on just like, because I've seen Hades perform so much, and I'm very aware of like their nuances, their poses, their posturing, how they do things. But today was extra zesty, extra spicy, a lot of extra flavor. And I think that's like the residue of having performed at Club Cheetah and kind of experienced that. And I think there's that, like, once you taste it, you want more. Once Harry Potter came out of his closet, it's like, oh, you know, like once you start attending Hogwarts and you're eating, like, and drinking butterbeer and all this stuff, like, you can't go back. Um, and so I really hope this pushes Hades even more to like just push and be like even more awesome. Um, because I believe in them so much. So yeah, today as I was taking photos, and I could take my time a little bit more because it was longer, but like, there were times where I just put my camera down, I was just rocking out. And then what I like to do, and I did this probably the very first show that I ever attended with Hades, was like go to the rail at the front, just look at Mayo and be like, yeah. Because as a performer, you feed off of that. You feed off of the crowd, and I was doing that with like Kuya as well. So that was great. That was great. It was a really great show. I saw portions, not all of Full Moon, but they're just always fun, and I enjoyed their performance as well, their songs, and then the same with Empress. Um, yeah, I don't know, like she is a riot. She's an absolute riot. Like Mayo doesn't have like a stage persona. Like Mayo is Mayo wherever she goes. Like there's no change whatsoever. She just is who she is, which is fascinating. It's so fascinating. Um, but yeah, so great show, fun night. Kuya's birthday is coming up on October 26th at Crescendo. And for any of you who will be in town during that time, I highly recommend that you reserve a ticket for that show. If you need help, I can help you. But you have Hades, you have Mellows, which is an awesome band with Gina, with Sally, with Mio. And you can check them out as well. Great stuff. I really don't know how you could describe her. Mm. Nekomeshi 222 is performing. A band called Nilfinity. They're a pretty cool band. I think Richard, you would appreciate them. Nilfinity has a little bit of that Lost in the Flames feel, which I think you're into. Slightly gothic, you know, a little bit more mid tempo. But yeah, Nilfinity is a really cool band. And then Mayo and Kuya are usually in a cover band of Marilyn Manson called Marilyn Marathon. So, sorry, I didn't see that question. I'll come back to it. Called Maryland Marathon, but their usual singer won't be in town at that time. So they have a new person coming in to sing for that day. And so it's called Kurutta Marathon, which is like crazy marathon. Um, that I don't know, but I'm still excited to see it. And I think maybe I'll see them in Whiteface, um, which is really cool. That's kind of fun. So it's gonna be an incredible show. Like, I mean, really cool bands. And then if you can't attend in person, then I highly recommend that you guys buy a live stream ticket. Um, yeah, that highly recommend. Awesome, it'll be an awesome show. And if you're lucky, you'll see me taking photos. Can't get better than that. So yeah, we did shoot a little promo, which will be up in a week or two, maybe two, somewhere in between there, between a week and 2 weeks. So it'll be really fun. And then also there is the Blacklisted 20th anniversary, which I've mentioned previously, but that's going to be October 12th and 13th, Saturday and Sunday, 4 bands each day. The first day, Saturday, a band called Blaz Dead, Nekomeshi 222, Shiver a Frontier. I forget the last band. Is it Mastermind? No. I don't know if Yushi-san's watching. Yushi-san, if you're watching, you can let us know. Maybe not. And then the second day, there is Hades, there is Sheglapes, 2 bands with some of my favorite people ever. 4XX Error Code, which is one of the newer bands that's signed with Blacklisted. And then there's one more band that I can't seem to remember at the moment. But I do think we are going to do a promo for that of some sort. Not sure exactly what. Yeah. And then a band that we interviewed last year that I've helped out previously, Doll Parts. They will have a one-man in November 9th. And I may be helping out with that show. I need to confirm with Arisa. But yeah, that should also be an awesome show. Doll Parts puts on an amazing performance. And what I really enjoy about Doll Parts is that they don't sound like any other band in Japan right now that I've heard. Because they stay true to sort of the roots of trying to revive or to live up to or to channel that sort of like 90s, sort of that 90s grunge, post-grunge vibe, even a little bit of Britpop at times. For me, it's cool because I like nostalgia. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing. Like, it's not like everything has to be new, you know? And it's not like everything has to be old. But I just enjoy it when things remind me of when I enjoyed music in a certain way. And Arisa, her performance, like, she's one of the most sensual, without being tacky or like overt, like some bands at times. But one of the most sensual, passionate performers and singers like out there. So good stuff, really good stuff. But yeah, I'll have to confirm with her on that too. So yeah, it's weird. I do feel like I really do feel like I have my fingers in a lot of pies. Is that the wording? Fingers in a lot of pies or performance? No, in puddings? Does that sound weird? Did I say something I shouldn't have? I don't know how you say that. I not what do you say that? What's the term? One of you guys knows, right? It's right? Okay, it's right. It is right. Oh, it sounds all right. Oh, but I think is this it? Yeah, so to add to CDs that I've received recently. Oh, this one's not signed though, which is a shame. Um, this Paradox's album, so I will take a listen. And yeah, really cool. Um, my goal in moving to Japan. Oh, this is something that I forgot to share, which I just was reminded of recently. Um, maybe the past couple days ago. I was just like, oh, it's been like over a year now since I quit my job and I was unemployed for a really, really extended period of time. And during that time, I was depressed and it was dark and it did feel hopeless at times and I was distraught. And I really did survive through the generosity and the kindness and the support and the love of a lot of you out there. So um, I want to say thank you to those of you who kind of like were there with me through all of this. Um, it means a lot because I was when I was actually talking to Suitsu-san uh, yesterday. I told him like I'm very very satisfied. I'm very very content. Uh, Although I'd be more content if I didn't have to work another job and I could just do this. But with the work that I'm doing, with all the things that I've done for these bands and have been given the opportunity to do so, I always consider it a privilege and an honor to interact with people this way. Um, yeah, I'm very, very grateful. Um, for those of you who have supported me and MNN through Patreon, and personally, a lot of you guys have done so as well. Um, I want you guys to know that um, you are most definitely um, getting your money's worth in terms of my happiness and my satisfaction. And like, another thing I was thinking about, because my foot has been through a lot recently and it does seem to be getting better recently as well. But my body's been getting some wear and tear, and I kind of have been through certain things that I won't necessarily share, that I won't share right here. But I do know that I'm mortal, that it's not going to last forever, and I do realize that at some point things will come to an end. Um, and this might sound a bit dreary, but I was just thinking, like, a few years ago, even I was like, if I died tomorrow, it's fine. I mean, there's really nothing worth really living for me. That's honestly how I felt. Um, Even like during the bandmate period, like that intense bandmate period, like I still just kind of felt like, I mean, I guess, but if tomorrow ended, and again, if Suho has to go first, because I know he'd have a harder time without me. But when I was thinking about it, I think it was either today or yesterday. I was just like, tomorrow wouldn't be good. I don't want things to end soon yet. I want to live longer. And it's the first time that I've thought and felt that way in a long, long time. Um, because of all these things that I've experienced and these things that I'm doing and the satisfaction that I've gained and like the pure content that I have with this kind of work. So just a very much a thank you to the bands, to the people who have contributed, and um, to you guys. You know, some of you more than others, and I'm not like judging or comparing, um, but like you have to know that you mean a lot in terms of what you've contributed to my life to get me to where I am now, to be here in Tokyo and to be doing these things. Like, oh, thank you, Kurt. Yeah, didn't quite expect for this live stream to go to go emotional. Sorry, but a lot of gratitude, a lot of satisfaction, um, a lot of hope and aspirations and dreams, and not for me per se, for these bands. And so I feel like I need to stick around longer because I have purpose right now, you know, and that purpose is in progress, like it is happening, but it's not yet. And so, um, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, thank you guys. Really, thank you. Um, shit. Things got heavy pretty quickly. But thank you. Really. Um, genuinely thank you guys. Yeah. What do I live for? To get these bands to the places that I believe that they can go. Um, I'm looking at a photo of HADES that I took earlier today, and um, if they're happy, if they feel like they're really achieving some of their dreams, then, ugh, yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Which does remind me, Bandmade, and that this isn't gonna go longer because I really do have to rest. But Bandmade with the announcement of switching um, to going independent with their Made It uh, company, corporation, limited, what have you. And I'm so excited for them and for them to take that and run with it. And I really hope like that becomes something really special and amazing and allows them to do the things that they've wanted to do. Um, you know, I've seen online, I mean, a lot of people talk out of their asses and make a lot of assumptions and think that because they read stuff, they know stuff. Um, I've interacted with a lot of bands and talks about management, about managers. I'm so happy to hear, Sting. That's so awesome. I'm really, really glad to hear that. Um, but yeah, like, I know what a change in management can do. Ah, thank you, Alan, so much. That means a lot. Thank you so much. I will try my best to keep that up. Um, but I know what a change in management can do. I know what a change, because, you know, a lot of bands do um, give that responsibility to their managers, to their management, and they don't have the final say, or they've given permission to not have the final say. So it's like, oh, would this be possible? Oh, we're not sure. We have to talk to management if that's okay. And they're the ones who make that decision. Like, I'm not quite sure because I've never really interacted with any managers in the States. You know, I've just like read stuff and seen stuff. But it does seem in Japan that people do give a lot more authority to those in management, that sort of respect. And yeah, I'm just hoping that with the change to Made It, it will give Bandmate a lot more freedom to do things, and we'll find out. We'll see what the repercussions of that decision uh, are. Yeah. So yeah, it's exciting times, man. It never ever ends. Um, it's like seeing all these histories, all these lives, like interwoven, moving all at once. And so all this crazy stuff is happening like all the time and it never ends. It's like even like this year alone, you have all these amazing like albums and bands, whether it be Gungire or Bright Deer doing the world tour now. Hagane coming back with Juna, with Nagi putting out their EP. You have these newer bands like Palineo, like putting out this awesome EP. A band like Neki coming out, who, again, I don't consider them to be anything like Bandmate, but there's all these different bands and all this different music and all these different stories and all these different things happening all at once, which is why when people come, they're like, oh my god, I'm going to a show every single day. Because that's just how it is. That's exactly what's happening. All these different bands have something going on. And so Tokyo is packed with hundreds of dreamers and poets and singers and drummers and bassists, guitarists, keyboardists. I mean, you name it. And it's exciting. It's really exciting. And again, I feel very fortunate to be at the center of it. And I'm very grateful for those of you who allowed me and helped me to get to where I am today. So, um, yeah, I'm going to stop it here because it gets boring hearing me talk this long. But thank you guys so much. And I did miss questions. I tend to do that. But is there any other last questions or things I may have missed that you want to bring to my attention before I say goodbye? Hey, William, what's going on? How are you? Oh, yeah. It was Kanami's birthday. Did you guys wish her a happy birthday? I posted stuff on our community page, on Fans Cafe, on Twitter, on Instagram. Have you guys done your part? Yeah, Kanami. She's something special. Okay. Anything else? Any questions? Any follow-ups? Uh, Please let me know now or forever. Not forever. Just tonight. Hold your peace. So we'll give it a little bit of time. I'm gonna take a quick peek and see what's happening. Are you going to take the zombie train to Osaka? That looks really cool. I would love to, but I don't know if I can afford to. Time wise and money wise. Well, money wise, I guess I could, but time wise, I don't know if I can. Yeah. Anything else, guys? Just so you know, Banana Man was referring to a link I posted on my Facebook. No, he's lying down. He's resting. I don't let sleeping dogs lie. At least that's what I've heard. But yeah, I did repost. What would you call it? I reshared on Twitter X me playing my Flappy Pigeon. Yeah, I really miss playing and I really want to play again. How do you like Sirius's new bass player? Misa. Um, I don't know. I mean, I saw her. I have no idea. I really don't follow too much on Mayu or Nemophila, like their stuff. Um, yeah, so I don't know. I've no clue. But her vocal sounded fine that day, on Monday, and they performed as well 2 days after, right, in Tokyo, and I didn't hear anything about her vocals then, or I didn't see anything that she had shared about that either. So no clue. Misa, I saw her perform once. Um, this was a few weeks ago. She was fine. She was mostly in the back. The performance, they just kind of kept her there. I don't know. Yeah. So I have no idea. Um, and I haven't seen anything else of her playing, so I don't know. I do like Ami a lot as a drummer now. She's gotten a lot stronger and a lot more sort of wild and vicious with her playing style, which I love. Um, I was talking to Suitsu-san last night and telling him that I love punk, and one of the reasons I love punk is because it's so raw and just in your face. So, yeah. Yeah, Mayu, I don't know. I mean, yeah, doesn't totally work for me. Even though I think she's extremely talented, and I think what she does really well, but it just doesn't quite work for me. And I kind of like re-recognize that as I was watching. I was like, I mean, it's good, and I left it at that. Yeah, Ami's cool. She's really cool. Also, I was saying like I've been really wanting to perform again, and so um, when I was talking to who was it, Kuya, and then who else was it? I don't know if it was Mayo or if it was Yuri, but I was like, yeah, I really want to play. Like, would you guys play with me if I did something? Can we do something? Can I get on stage? Because I really want to. Yeah, I just really, really want to. More women in managerial posted Peter. Um, little Lilith is independent. Brideer is independent. That's what I know. Bandmate is independent. I don't know too much else. Um, to be honest, I've always preferred interacting more with um, like if I had a choice between interacting with like the players of the industry versus the actual players of the industry, you know what I mean? Like the bands, I prefer being in that mix. I prefer interacting with the members and more of that stuff versus like being like more in the managerial positions or any of the other stuff. Yeah, man. But yes, I've been itching to play. It was kind of cool today because the video I posted was from a few years ago. Hey, what's going on, Peter? It was from a few years ago, and it was me playing guitar to Women on the Hysteria record from Def Leppard. And then today I walked into the venue and they were playing Hysteria. And I was like, what is this? What is this thing happening? Are you trying to tell me something? What is this message? So that was really fun too. Yeah. Oh, and then I'm looking at uh, I have no idea. Hey, what's going on, Ryan? Hey, every now and then I see you. Every now and then. I saw some of the video of you unpacking the GUNGIRE CDs. So I think, but I did comment. I was like, wait, what? You're making a video of watching me unpacking epic narratives? Is that what's happening? And I was like, why? uh, so yeah, I'm really really happy you got it safely. So good. But I'll see you again soon. I'm sure. I'll see you again soon. Yeah, we talked about a lot of different stuff. The other cool thing is that Miley, Smiley Time Miley, I think some of you have seen it. Uh, there's a photo of her reaching out and getting the pic from Konami. And then if you take a look carefully at her left arm, there's a hand that's kind of helping push it, and that's my hand. Because do you guys know the story? Okay, quick story. I was at the rail, Miley was behind me, the song starts, bandmate starts playing, and people are pushing, and I see her just being smushed. So I said, hell no. I put her in front, try to protect her, and so at the end of the show, as you know, Konami is passing out picks. Like, I can see her trying to give it to Miley, but Miley's a bit small and petite, and so I kind of grabbed her arms and helped kind of push it so that she could sort of reach further, and then she got the pick. I should have just I should just be like, "Hey, you got it," and just taking it from her and run away. Konami is the one pick that I don't have. I have Miku's, I have Misa's, I have Akane's. I have Akane's drumstick. Yeah, you're in a lot of pictures, Richard. Oh, that would be so funny. That would be so funny. But yeah, so it's good stuff. Well, another thing that I guess I can mention, because I'm just looking at the Twitter being sort of updated, is that, of course, is that My Little Devil, a band that I had mentioned previously, and I was really impressed by the live performance. They dropped an MV called Last Beginning, and their music video, like, it's been a couple of weeks, and in those 2 weeks, they've hit 14,000 views. So roughly, like, you know, averaged out 1,000 views a day, which is amazing for a small indie band. So it's really cool. And I think I may be able to see them again soon. I don't know. Oh, this coming weekend, October 5th and October 6th, I have no shame in saying this because why would I? My birthday is Sunday, October 6th. And originally, I was supposed to go to Fukuoka October 5th, this coming Saturday, to attend the spin off with the set list chosen by Misa and Akane. And even though I really did want to go, just the hassle of finding a hotel for my dog, taking him there, catching a flight, going to Fukuoka, and then coming back, and then getting him back. It just, the logistics of it was just, it was a nightmare. So I just decided I'm just gonna sell it. So I sold both of my tickets for Fukuoka. So there will be a review of the show, but it won't be of, you know, an eyewitness, which is unfortunate because it is, damn it, it is Misa and Akane, and that's got to be such an awesome set list. One of those one of a kinds FOMO, but what can you do? My sister's October 7th. My dad is October 3rd, and my niece's was a couple of days ago, but I didn't contact my sister. I'm a terrible person. Oh, gosh. So yeah, but in lieu of going to Fukuoka on the 5th, I'm not sure what show there is on the 5th. There are a few going on, but on the 6th, on Sunday, uh, I'm going to go see Sala and Sally because they will both be performing at the Makai. And I don't know exactly what the Makai is, but it is something else that, hey, happy birthday or belated. It's like a rock slash metal slash musical of some sort. Um, but yeah, so I'll be attending that on Sunday. And I think there's another earlier show that maybe I can attend, but maybe I shouldn't. It's just, it's just too many shows. Yep. All right. I am gonna leave it here. So I really should sleep. And I should edit videos. And oh, Mellows is gonna come soon. Mellows is coming soon, for sure, October, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks. When well, it's the sixth time there. What are you gonna do? Yeah, so I'm excited for that. Did some editing of it yesterday and today. So you guys don't understand, man. I'm busy, yo. I'm a busy, tired old man. I don't look it, but I am. Sometimes I just want to lay down with my dog and just do nothing for days and days. Um, let's see. Not everyone, but it's getting there. It's getting there, which I can't complain. If you are gonna be tired, be tired for something you love. Uh, I take the fifth. Let's see, who else? What else? Yeah, I think that's it. I'll be posting more photos this week of Hades and doing more stuff. Videos of Sala's show, of Hades, if I can find some good stuff. I'm gonna ignore that comment and just say thank you guys once again. This has been Peter from MNN. It has been an amazing time and an amazing journey so far. And as they say, the best is yet to come, not just for me, but for a lot of bands. So thank you guys. I'm gonna take off, get some rest, and hopefully not do a terrible job at work tomorrow or today. Okay? So you guys, please be safe. Please take care. For those of you who have been affected by the hurricane, I really do hope that things are better. I hope you guys can find ways to take care and be healthy and just, make sure your loved ones are all safe. So, all right, guys, thanks again, man. Thank you so much, and I will see you again. Bye, guys. Thank you.